This is Solo Travel Talk. Your solo travel advisor is Astrid Clements.
Vegas, baby. You might be in Las Vegas for a vacation, a wild weekend, to see a show, or for a conference. And your solo travel advisor, Astrid Clements, wants you to know there is more than meets the eye with Las Vegas, and specifically Fremont Street. I'm producer Catherine O'Brien. Let's go see the lights, the glitz, the people watching, and explore all the renewal of Fremont Street in Las Vegas. Astrid, listeners know that you recently went to the International Travel Goods Show in Las Vegas. In true Astrid fashion, you turned this business trip into something fun too. Were you surprised by Fremont Street?
I have to say yes and no, because this time that I carved out a good day to go to Fremont Street was actually the third time that I had been there. The first time was about 20 years ago, and it was very run down. It was really kind of a typical old downtown area where the buildings were boarded up and just, really kind of a spooky feeling that nobody went down there. And then the second time that I went was actually, I think about 10 years ago. My husband and I were in Vegas just to relax. And I said, I want to go down to Fremont Street because I heard that they're trying to bring it back. And that's where Las Vegas actually started. I said, let's go down there. So we went down there, and you could see the changes that were beginning to take place, but it still really wasn't anything. There were some street vendors. I know I bought a little hooded jacket because it was cold. Vegas is so funny. The weather, you never really know, but it was cold. So I bought like a some kind of zipped up hooded sweatshirt jacket, and I think it was like $15. So let me tell you something. Fremont Street is still the place where you get your bargains. It's not on the Strip. It's on the old Strip. But then this last visit, when I went to the Travel Show Products Convention, I wanted to go down there because I knew that Vegas had really committed a lot of money and a lot of effort to completely revitalize Fremont Street. So before I kind of get into all the changes and what makes it really a fun place to go visit when you're in Vegas, not just on the Strip or in some of the fabulous shopping places if you like to shop, or the entertainment. Fremont Street's got it going on now. But this is, like I said, where Las Vegas began. The whole phenomenon of gambling, a gambling mecca basically in the middle of nowhere, which is really kind of fantastic to think that just happened. And I want to say, maybe it's only in America that can happen or could happen in the early 20th century. It was basically in 1905 when they decided Las Vegas was going to be a place. So Fremont Street really, this first street in Las Vegas is considered the original Strip. It was the first paved street in Vegas. It had the first hotel, the Hotel Nevada. It had the first gambling license. There was a club called the Northern Club. And it was, kind of, I guess, you had to be asked in or whatever. It was, definitely under the radar somewhat. And then as this gambling started to really be a vibrant draw, I guess something made the people that were pushing it feel like lights and energy. Well, Vegas started becoming known for all of these lights. They had these light bulb signs and the older signs before the neon came in, and then they had the neon. So this area was really the first area that really had a lot of signs. And can you imagine that in the middle of nowhere? So I think that's so unique. But in fact, there is on the west end of Fremont Street, like if you're in downtown, Las Vegas Boulevard basically goes north-south, and then Fremont Street, goes east-west. And on the west side, there was an area, or they called it the Glitter Gulch. Because this is where they had a lot of these signs. And if you go there now, you'll see cowboy so-and-so and a big drink glass and all kinds of things. But they're in these old metal big signs with these light bulbs. And they're really quite charming, to tell you the truth. They set the tone for the area. So they called it the Glitter Gulch.
I love it.
So, and then of course you had the first real casino here on Fremont Street, the Golden Nugget. And I mean, the Golden Nugget was something that was absolutely fantastic. Then also the birthplace of the shrimp cocktail happened on Fremont Street in the Golden Gate Hotel. And then you have the famous Binions, the Binion family, their casino and their hotel, the Four Queens. So really what you have here is old Americana in a very unique way. And it's where the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr., they just hung out there. I mean, this place had a real vibe. And really the beginning of Las Vegas started here. So what happened, like I said, to change it all after it completely got to be basically a ghost town? Nobody would go down there because the Strip was so fantastic. You know, they had the Luxor and the Excalibur, and then, you know, you had Bellagio in Paris. And I mean, it was going like, what do you want to go the Golden Nugget for? But in 2002, basically Las Vegas, the city fathers, they decided that they were going to bring Fremont Street back, and it was really part of the revitalization of downtown. So they earmarked about $33 million to, first of all, revitalize the area. And that did start the old hotels to come back, to be sold and to be refurbished. In one particular, I mentioned the Golden Nugget, which really is still, I love the Golden Nugget. There is something, you can feel Frank Sinatra in the Golden Nugget when you go in there still. But Tillman Fertitta, who is a fantastically successful restaurateur who's gotten into the gaming industry now, bought the Golden Nugget, and he really has done a good job to preserve the feel of the history but also give it modern comforts. It's very affordable, $120 a night. It has a very well reviewed spa. They changed the pool area where you lounge in. You have an area where you can lounge on lounge chairs in the pool and watch this aquarium full of sharks and these predator fish. It's really mesmerizing. I mean, it's something that is gorgeous, to tell you the truth.
There seems like there's a little metaphor in there, too. Watch out for the sharks.
Oh, yeah. It's like, are you a shark or are you going to be eaten? Plus, you know, Fremont Street is noted for the loosest slot machines in town. Especially, you know, you can go to Binion's and get free pools, even. And also, talking about Binion's, if you want to take a picture with $1 million, they have $1 million. I mean, Fremont Street is really, like I said, it's a combination of old and new, and it has that feel of old Americana, but it's still, it's modern enough to where it's fun. It's a whole lot of fun. So, you know, I guess you'd say one of the most unique one of the other unique features, and where they spent quite a bit of this initial money, is what they did was they took 4 blocks of 5 blocks of Fremont Street. Like I said, the street crosses Las Vegas Boulevard, and you really have one side that has this 4-block canopy over it. And this canopy is fantastic because what it turns into in the evening is a screen. And they have what's called, it's called Viva Vision. And starting on at 6 on the hour, you have a fantastic, and when I tell you fantastic light and sound show, it will blow you away. They take the lights, like I talked about, the early signs with the light bulbs and then the neon signs, they take it to the next level. It's the lasers and LED and the colors and the sound. It is so fine. It really is. So Fremont Street is really starting to be somewhere that is really exciting, to tell you the truth. It's not just to go to a place that's a little cheaper in Las Vegas, of which we'll talk about that. I would kind of just say it's turned into, especially that side of Las Vegas Boulevard where the canopy is, it's really kind of an open air, but it's a pedestrian mall. So you've got lots of boutiques there now. And like I said, the merchandise off of Fremont Street in the boutiques, I think is, I don't want to say a lot less expensive than on the Strip, but it's much more affordable across the board. So you've got all the boutiques, and then at the end of the canopy, you've got what's called Neonopolis, which is a big shopping mall. So, Vegas is really about shopping, entertainment, eating, and gambling. So they have their Neonopolis. So if you're staying at one of the hotels, the Four Queens, the Golden Nugget, you don't have to go on the Strip. You have all the shopping you need if shopping is something that you're interested in. And then they've got so many street musicians. I mean, it kind of reminds me a little bit of New Orleans in the French Quarter. There was one particular gentleman that really just touched my heart. He was a veteran, and he was really kind of like a one-man band, but he was so soulful, and he was just out there singing and everything, and it really was touching. But then you've got your, more funky rap types and more rock types, and they're all along. So you can see people, they'll start moving, start dancing a little bit, and it has a good vibe there. I guess that's what you'd say. Then probably halfway down, you've got a stage. And on the stage, during the day, depending on what's, on the calendar, they'll have shows there or performances. And that goes on all day and all night. So, that's a free show. It's free. Photo opportunities. If you want to take pictures with funny-looking characters, I thought about, this is kind of a little bit like Times Square. When you go in Times Square and Mickey Mouse accosts you, want you to, but they expect you to pay to take a picture of after you've taken the picture. But it's not quite like that on Fremont Street. But you've got all these characters, some of these really scantily clothed women and these real weird looking character in different costumes. And you can take a picture with them. Now, of course, they do want payment. But it's kind of like I don't want to say it's a Mardi Gras feel to it, but it's got a lot of, think outside of the box or weird is better feel. And that is also quite interesting, to tell you the truth. Plus, they have the Chippendales there. So if you want to take a picture with one of the Chippendales...
Just a reminder, this is a family show here.
You can do that too. They also, on this covered part of Fremont Street, and they actually call this area the Fremont Street Experience. And it is an experience because it has so many different types of things that are going on that are fun. They have fortune teller. Tara, card reader. She has her own wagon out there. So if you need your fortune told or you're in the mood to see what's going to happen, if you believe in that, it's on Fremont Street. I didn't see it on the Strip. Then a very interesting thing, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later because I actually did it, but they have two fabulous Oriental artists that make clay masks. They do your face out of a small ball of clay. And it takes about 45 minutes for them to do it, but it is fantastic. And then it's put on a in a frame on some velvet, and it's framed beautifully. But instead of a portrait done or a chalk painting, they're doing actually a clay mold of your face. So I thought that was very interesting, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. So in bottom line, I mean, it's just really lots of people watching. You can enjoy yourself just walking up and down the street. Besides the Strip, I really do think Fremont Street is a place to explore in Vegas. It's come back alive, and it's come back alive in a unique, really a fun way.
Do you think that Fremont Street is a microcosm of some of the changes that have been happening in Las Vegas over the last few years?
Definitely. Because, Vegas is known as the adult Disney World, and it's a place where adults come to basically escape. They want excitement, or they want relaxation, entertainment, and try their luck at gambling. A lot of people go there who are not gamblers, that they just feel like, well, I'm going to try my luck here. And this is the place to do it. So, but in order for these huge hotels, casinos, this enormous amount of tourist-oriented places in Vegas, they have got to stay popular and on top of their game. And to do this, the hotels, the casinos, the restaurants, shopping venues, they have to revitalize every 5 years, or really they fall out of favor. They get stale. And when they get stale, their prices have to go down. And there's always a fine line where, am I really getting a return on the investment that I have in it? So they have to do something that's new or cool or redo or whatever. So I think that is kind of a little microcosm of what's on Fremont Street, as well as Vegas now is also becoming more family oriented. And I know our show is about solo travel, but I wanted to throw this in there is, they are doing a lot of amusements that families can do as well as adults. And so that's changed Vegas too. It's not just coming to Sin City.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that I think that we went from that Sin City phase, and I wonder if the family orientation kind of benefits the solo traveler, just because it kind of takes that seediness down a little bit and makes it more welcoming for everybody, every age group, that kind of thing. I just think the solo traveler might just get a boon from that.
I think that's true, because there's not quite the edge there, like you said, with just yeah. So really, the Fremont Street experience, it really is targeting, I think, adults and families alike to come to this area because it's fun, it's affordable. Here I also put down in my notes, it's great for solos because, on the Strip if you want to do a lot of things, you have to do a lot of walking. And the Strip is, I think it's 5 miles plus. And it's all concrete. And I can tell you can wear yourself out in those enormous casinos and hotels and doing the shopping and trying to eat and going from Bellagio to Caesars to, Encore to, I'm a Venetian. You are just wiped out, especially if you're only there for 2 or 3 days, trying to do a lot of things on the Strip. What's so wonderful about Fremont Street, it's just, basically, I'd say 8 blocks total, east and west side. So it is very small area, and it's all there in a unique way. It's still Vegas, but in unique way. I say basically it's small and self-contained. And I think that's good for a solo traveler, especially if this may be your first time to Vegas and you just want to kind of dip your toe into it. This is good. You can do that and get the Vegas experience. It's not like, staying at the in the area of Bellagio and Caesars, etc., but it's still worth it just to stay in that particular area. Moving in this direction to say basically downtown has made this Fremont Street a unique kind of Vegas experience. I think it's still Vegas, but it's more tame and it has a more relaxed feel. That's what I would say. There's just not as much, the lights are everywhere, especially at night, but it's in a smaller area, so it's not like this huge strip with all of this traffic and all of these people and all of these lights, which, it's a different feel to it, but I think it's great,
I know a couple of Vegas aficionados in my life, and I wonder if Las Vegas, I'm wondering your thoughts on this, because they have that history with the Rat Pack and what have you. I noticed that a lot of the Las Vegas destinations that have that history have kind of embraced the vintage feel. They've done this sort of updated, modern, but keeping that vintage feel, which I think is working really nicely.
It is working very nicely. And let me tell you, I am seeing that all over America and really in a lot of other places in the world. People who are gearing to tourism and even locals, they want to keep the authenticity of a place. What makes this place special? And the Big Strip has got its own DNA. But this in Fremont Street, I mean, you can just see Frank Sinatra, fly me to the moon and to the star. I mean, you could just see him hanging out there, smoking a cigarette, 2 babes on both arms, and, Lady Luck. So, but it's. You can see it and you can kind of really imagine it the way it was, and it's I don't know, it's heartwarming, I guess you would say.
Well, it's a way of preserving it. It's like you are able to preserve the past and enjoy a modern feel as well. I just think that's smart.
Yeah, it is, rather than the same thing everywhere you go.
All right, well, you teased us a little bit with some of the things that you did on Fremont Street, but what are the highlights? What are some of the things that a solo traveler should plan on?
Okay, one of the areas that I didn't mention, and it's really on the west side, where I talked about the Glitter Gulch. Well, it's a little bit past that. And on the way to what I'm going to talk about, you've got some restaurants and a couple of more boutiques, but it's not under the canopy, okay? On the west side, they don't have the canopy. But after about 2 or 3 blocks on the right side, you'll see this huge metal praying mantis that blows fire out of its mouth. Oh, boy. And that is the moniker for the container park. And the container park is such a cool development. What they have created there is, I think there's 43 shipping containers that they have configured, some 1 story and 2 stories, where they have divided them off and they let the small vendors, the small artisans, the small restaurateurs, the small shopkeepers have spaces in there. It is so cool because you get so much eclecticism there. It's kind of the way we used to shop. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lady would love to make jewelry, and she wants to have her own shop, so she has that and a couple of people working for. That's the feel in there.
Oh, cool.
So it's really cool. Plus, it's configured around an interior open air grassy place, and it has real nice contemporary looking sail like canvas canopies over it, so they have live music there, and so it's a family oriented place during the day, but in the night at 9 o'clock you have to be 21 years of age to be there, so it turns into an adult playground.
By day and by night, I see.
Yeah, which is really, I think, it's a wonderful idea because, here again, if you're staying on Fremont Street and you want to stay out a little later and you don't want to hang out in your casino or whatever, you can go down to the container park. And they've got all kinds of things going on. Now, let me just share with you some of the restaurants. Now, these aren't just like, just kind of regular restaurants. This food is really good. One particular place is called Schaffini's, and it specializes in gourmet hot dogs. And when I say gourmet hot dogs, this is hot dogs that you can't imagine. Hot dogs with a Mexican twist, hot dogs with an Italian twist, and brie cheese and all that. I mean, these gourmet hot dogs, you lose the hot dog with everything else on top of it. But it is so popular. People love this restaurant. And you can sit outside. That's another thing about all these restaurants. They have places where you can sit outside, which is really nice. Then they've got a great wine bar called Ben 702, where they've got all these specialty wines there that you can try, and it's much more affordable than if you would get a real expensive glass of say French Bordeaux. So it's a really cool place, and they serve also salads and paninis, lighter kind of dishes with it. But it is a great wine bar if you want to get high quality wine at a very affordable price, which is almost not possible in Las Vegas. I mean, because they make their money off of the alcohol. Then you've got Big Ernie's Barbecue. Now, that is another really popular place, especially with the men. For some reason, barbecue and the male. And Oak and Ivy Whiskey Bar, which they have. This is a place where they do really cool craft cocktails. That's their big thing. Stone and Bake Pizza and Brownies. Now, I've never heard a restaurant serving pizza and brownies, but this is their specialty. JoJo's Jerky. JoJo's Jerky is supposed to be the best all-natural beef jerky in the world. So if you're there and you like beef jerky, you got to go to JoJo's. Maybe bring some home. I know people in Louisiana love beef jerky. really, really do. And then there's a great gelato place called Waffalatos. So that's just a little bit about the food, but it really, that kind of shows you that this is a very special place, and it's very high quality, and here again, much more affordable, and in some ways maybe higher quality, because in Vegas, along the Strip, you can get very affordable meals and mid-range meals, but the quality can be maybe not quite as high as you expect. But here you can get those prices, and I think the quality is quite high. So this area basically is opened every day from 11 to midnight, Sunday through Thursday, and then from 10 to 2 on Friday and Saturdays. Now, I didn't mention the retail. Let me talk a little bit about the retail too, because the retail is quite eclectic, and I liked it. I'm a shopper, so
Regular listeners will know Astrid is a good shopper.
I love to shop. Well, there was this I love this mannequin outside. It was this mannequin with this plain red kind of knit top. Sleeves were right past the elbow. They had two little bows on the sleeve and like a boat neck. And then it was tucked in a skirt. And the skirt looked kind of like something you would have seen in the 40s. It was a little bit of a khaki colored, heavier cotton, and it had a little bit of I guess you'd say a poof out. I don't know how you would describe that. But then it had kind of an Art Deco-like design in it with black and red and yellow stripes in a different way. It was just very dramatic, elegant, but I thought that just looks so good. You could wear that to dinner. You could wear that traveling. This is really style, and it had kind of that vintage look. So I went up and I saw this store called Vintage NV. So I went in there and I was talking to the shopkeeper, and she said, oh yeah, she said, we specialize in collectible or kind of vintage items from like the 40s and 50s. And she said the concept started out in California, and so we've brought this store to Las Vegas to see how we would do. And she said it's been very successful. And I can see why. I mean, this outfit was right at $100. But it is really, I think it looks like Saks Fifth Avenue with a little bit of a vintage twist. Very well, lots of style. Lots of style. So I love that. Then also they have Athena's Jewelry Shop. They have all kinds of handmade jewelry in there, and then also jewelry from around the world that's more, I would say, with semi-precious stones, etc. But good. Whoever is the owner, I didn't meet her, has a good eye. Then you've got the Gambler's General Store. Well, if you need all kinds of things to get a gambling game going, or you want souvenirs or whatever, gold card decks made from gold cards, anything, you can find it in the Gambler's General Store. Really? Only in Las Vegas.
Only in Las Vegas.
Then if you want a good cigar that doesn't cost you an arm and leg, go to Lobo's Cigars. Which is really good because, there are a lot of people, especially the men and now some women, that want good cigars. But, man, the prices can be just ridiculous, especially along the Strip. Whew. My husband smokes cigars, so I know. And I'll go, oh, no, you're not going to pay for that. It'll be gone in an hour, and you will have puffed $50. That's ridiculous. So, and then there's also Jinju's chocolate, handmade gourmet chocolates. Really really nice. So, great prices for unique items. And like I've said 3 times, it's much more expensive on the Strip. So for solo travelers, it'll help you save some money. Okay, a couple of other quality things that to do on Fremont Street, and we'll go back to the covered area, which is called the Fremont Street Experience, and that's on the east side of Las Vegas Boulevard. You've got a zip line. Now, can you imagine this? You've got a shorter zip line and then one that goes all the way down. And I'm telling you, you are walking down Fremont Street, looking at all the characters or sitting outside and having a cup of coffee. And here they go, shoo, 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 down the zip line. So I thought that was really cool. And let me tell you, there are more adults doing it than children.
I was going to say, please tell me you did it. Did you?
I didn't get to do that. I wanted to, but that was the only thing I really didn't have time to do. And let me tell you, you don't do it. You do it like you're flying. Yeah, it's really that you don't hang the normal way you fly. Oh my God, it is like it. So there's nothing else in Vegas. There's nowhere else where you can do zip lines. So here is a safe and controlled zip line experience.
Wow.
Okay.
Next time.
Yeah, really. And then I talked about the clay face mask little kiosk or whatever. And, I walked up and I started watching this Asian young gentleman. He was doing somebody, and there were other people watching. And I was mesmerized how he could do this so quickly and so beautifully. I mean, I thought, what kind of mind, eye-hand coordination can create this? I mean, I'm not artistic, but I love art. I was mesmerized. So after he finished, I said, well, how much do you charge for this? He said, well, I think it was like $40 just for the clay mask. But if you wanted to put it on a frame, which had a green velvet background and a nice mahogany frame, as well as they would pack it for you so you could carry it on, so it wouldn't break. So I said, okay, let's do it. This is going to be my souvenir for my husband. I usually buy him, some kind of tie or, bottle of wine, or, I try to bring him back something because he's so sweet and supportive. He never says, no, you can't go somewhere. But I thought this would be nice because he's, we've been together a long time, and, he's still in love with me. So, pictures and everything he still likes. So I thought, well, I'll give him this. He doesn't have something like this. I was amazed what they did. And I have long hair. They did my hair long. Just he's really special. And I don't totally know his name, but I know his mentor his name is Jonathan Shee. And he goes by SheSculptor.com. And I think he does things for the Las Vegas Art Institute. And he's the mentor is very well known. But the young gentleman who did mine is also Asian and is working under him. But this is just not street art. This is something that is so unique that I really think it's extra special, and both of them are extra talented. They should be, they're museum quality skills, in my opinion. So, and you don't see this art very much.
Yeah, it's unusual. Just what you were describing sounded pretty unusual.
It's very unusual. So, if you want to have a bust of yourself that you can frame in a small frame, here, go to Fremont Street. Okay, then I talked about if you are in the mood, you don't know where your life's going, and you wanted your fortune told, there's that tarot card reader. She has her big wagon out there like the real thing, gypsy. But there were people waiting. Also, they have a neon museum. Now, this is another thing that you might not want to take the time to do, but every time I do something like this, I think, how am I going to? It is so interesting and blows you away. And really, it is interesting how that somebody in their mind created how to do this and do it very efficiently, and not cost a lot of money and make it really like electrifying. So, that's something unique that I would suggest doing. Now, the next thing is kind of family-oriented, but maybe not totally. They have this store called the Toy Shack, and it is enormous. And it has vintage toys, collectible toys, and current toys. It has so many toys, it's unbelievable. And I know I have a friend who collects dolls. And I used to play competitive bridge with her. And every time we would go out of town to a bridge tournament, she would be looking for all of these collectible dolls. She has a whole room that is her doll collection in her home. And it really is extraordinary. It's beautiful. It's not my cup of tea. But this is a place where you can go to find collectible toys and vintage toys, and then your current latest and greatest toys. So whether it's for your grandchildren, or your family there, or you just are into collectible toys, this is something really out of this world. So it's called the Toy Shack. Okay, then if you really want a picture with some what do they call that, stacked, or the abs or whatever, what do they call that, Catherine, when somebody's got a great pack of abs or whatever?
Beefcake? I don't know.
Well, if you want to take a picture with a guy with that kind of physique, the Chippendales are there for you. And they probably do some entertainment in the area. I didn't know that, but there were quite a few ladies that were waiting to get pictures with the Chippendales. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I just have this thing for the Golden Nugget. That hotel still has a mystique and a vibe. So, go in there and just look where they're all gambling. And if you want to, they actually have encased the largest golden nugget, piece of golden nugget in the world. So you can take your photograph with the golden nugget. Whoa. As well as that shark tank. That shark tank is just fabulous. And it has like stingrays and all of these weird looking fish. But it's beautiful. And if you're staying there, you can lounge around. They'll bring you your drinks, and you can either be in the water on a lounge chair or out of the water. It's a very different pool experience, but it's very unique. And then also, oh my God, if you like, all the restaurants in the Golden Nugget are really good because, like I told you, Tillman Fertitta is a restaurateur, and he has franchises, upscale, middle, lower, but he also has some really one-of-a-kind type of restaurants, and he's done it in the Golden Nugget. I ate lunch at the Cadillac Mexican Cantina. Oh, those were absolutely the best fish tacos I think I've ever put in my mouth. Oh, plus I didn't do this, but and the guacamole is really, you will gnaw your fingernails for the guacamole. But he has a thing where you can make your own cocktail. It's like a menu, and you choose what you want to put in it. Oh, yeah, it's really cool. I took a lot of pictures, and I don't totally remember everything right off the bat, but that Mexican food, and if you want to do your own cocktail or experiment, whatever, it was really a good experience and so affordable. I mean, I almost felt bad. I thought it should be, at least 25-40% more, but delicious. Absolutely delicious. So Golden Nugget really is a wonderful hotel now, and it's got that real feel of Vegas. So, bottom line is, I think if you want to go visit Fremont Street, you really should allot yourself a whole day to get the full experience on both the east side, the Fremont Street experience, and then, on the west side where Glitter Gulch was and the Container Park. I mean, you'll be there until it gets dark for sure, if you get there right when everything starts. So, but it really is a fun, relaxing, and interesting, kind of somewhat step back in time, but not totally.
That's cool.
Yes, it is. Some historic districts you go to in different places, they're interesting in terms of, say, architecture or just, maybe interiors, etc. But they don't capture real life. And this is, you still have real life on Fremont Street, which that's unique to do.
What I keep thinking is that listeners have no excuses. I have no excuse because you were there for a conference, and if you heard that episode, that conference was huge. You were there. You were super active. You were doing everything in the conference, and you get to do all this stuff on Fremont Street too. You crushed this trip to Las Vegas.
Oh, well, I love to crush all my trips.
It was amazing. So nobody has any excuse for not going and being, getting the full visitor experience, even if you're there for business.
Yeah, in that I've kind of alluded to this in the show already, but say you're in Vegas and you're there for a conference, and a lot of people who travel solo to Vegas really do go for some kind of conference. And you've been to some of the bigger casinos and hotels, and you've done a lot of Las Vegas. Don't do that this time. Just go down to Fremont Street, and you'll have a Vegas experience, but it'll be with a different twist to it, and you'll have fun. It's not like you'll go, oh gosh, that wasn't, Oh no, there's a lot going on.
All right, well, not to be a wet blanket, I'm going to take us a little bit of a turn here because you went to Las Vegas solo, and let's get practical for a second. Do you have any solo traveler tips for safety for Las Vegas, or is this something that the solo traveler needs to think about?
Well, in general, Vegas really is very safe. And it's safe for the solo woman traveler, but you have to use common sense, and you really should stay always in the well-lit areas in the evening where there are a lot of people. Don't wander off. Now, we talk about downtown. Stay on Fremont Street. Don't wander off on the other streets because the whole field changes. So use your common sense. But basically, there's so many cameras in the hotels and along the strip and in the casinos. I mean, they have a tremendous amount of technology that is security oriented, that makes it very safe. They also have so much basically uniformed and plainclothes security and police officers now. So, they always had it, but it's even more now. That in general, it's got a lot of safety systems in place. And like I said, stay where it's crowded or where there are people, and at night make sure it's well lit. Period. Those two basics are the way it is. Now, I'm going to give you some of my particular solo traveler safety tips for Vegas. Some of them are just, basic safety tips, and some of them are a little bit geared specifically to Vegas. Okay, first of all, just pay attention to your surroundings, because the biggest threat in Vegas are pickpockets. I mean, the grab and run so, only bring the amount of cash that you need for every day with you. Okay, then get a good crossbody purse or a fanny pack that you wear in the front that has a slash-proof strap on it. That's very important. Then, if your wallet isn't RFID, you need to get something that protects the credit cards and the reading of your credit card numbers. That's very important in Vegas because they have those machines. People will be walking down the street with them just trying to read your credit cards. That's important. Don't leave your purse on the back of your chair or the floor. Say you're at a buffet or anything. Just don't do it. That's what these grab and run people are looking for. Really and truly, keep it on your body if you get up, and if you're sitting there, chain it to your leg or chain it to the table, to the table. And they actually have purses now and backpacks that you can do that.
Our friends at Travel On had that bag with the lock on it. It's very clever.
Oh yeah, it's for women. It's fantastic. That is fantastic. Okay. Then second, like I said, stay in the well-lit areas. And if you are out after about 10 p.m., it's probably better to take a Uber or a taxi back to your hotel, or use the overhead metro train that they have, which I used the whole time I was there. I really maybe used a taxi. Well, I used a taxi to and from the airport, but maybe once or twice, not very much. And cabs can be expensive in Vegas, so because I know you don't want to be walking, pounding those concrete streets. Ooh, you can wear yourself at day 2. You got blisters, your back of your neck hurts, your hips hurt because it's so much walking. So take the mass transit or Uber or taxi after 10. Then, of course, dress appropriately. You know, you don't want to be a target. You don't. I mean, everybody kind of looks like a tourist there because they are a tourist. Yeah. But don't dress too provocative. You want to, if you like to be stylish, it's okay. But if you get too provocative, you know, it might lead to something that, you know, you wish didn't happen. Also, you know, some people, especially if they're carrying a lot of money, they'll wear a jacket with hidden zippers that they put their cash in or the credit cards. Some people even wear socks with zippers and that kind of thing. So, you know, Vegas is a place with a lot of cash, and there are a lot of people that are doing things, and people bring money there to spend it. And hopefully win it at the gaming table. So, you know, these pickpockets and these grab and runs are looking for anybody who's just off in La La Land to do a quick hit. Next, and this goes without saying, but especially in Vegas, be careful not to drink too much. I mean, really. If I was, you know, tell any solo woman traveler is just don't get inebriated. Now, if you enjoy drinking in the evening, I always suggest doing it at your hotel. It's really the best place to do it because in these big hotels, you basically can walk to your room. And if you feel a little bit too out of sort, you can ask the barman to get somebody to escort you to your room. And I think this is good, especially in Vegas. Sometimes, you know, men will try to say, you know, hey, I'm blind, you know, what are you here for a convention? You know, they always try to start some kind of conversation. But, you know, if you feel a little uncomfortable, especially if you've had a couple of drinks, get somebody just to walk you to your room. And I'll never forget, I saw a woman do this about 20 years ago, and I keyed in on that. And I thought, well, if I ever felt uncomfortable, that is a really smart thing to do. But I was on Fisher Island with my husband in Miami, and this is a very exclusive resort there on Fisher Island. It was actually part of the Vanderbilt mansion, or the Vanderbilts had built this part. Well, we were in the bar, and they had a piano player there, and, you know, people were there listening to the music and drinking, and then you could walk to your casita or your hotel room. Well, there was this she had to be very wealthy woman by herself. She had been there for over 2 hours. She was bejeweled, very well dressed, and after she got through drinking, she motioned to the barman to come over, and within 2 minutes somebody came from the hotel, and I knew they escorted her to her room, which I think that's very good. You don't have to be bejeweled, but if you feel in any kind of way that your safety is compromised, and you should take this as a tip for all solo travel, but especially in Vegas, because Vegas, once the lights go down, which they're never supposed to,
It does feel a little different in Vegas in that capacity.
It does. It does, especially if you're a solo woman traveler. Yeah. Yes. I mean, invariably, when I get into the cabs, I would say 85% of them say, "Oh, well, you're here by yourself or you're here for a track." And then the cab drivers are trying to tell you where to go. This kind of little, they're trying to figure out whether you're,
What's your scene?
Yeah. And I'm going, hey, I just want to get to the hotel. I'm nice, but I don't give them any information. Okay. Next is use the desk safe for anything you think is very valuable, or say you win big or you have a lot of cash, because those combination safes in your room, they can get into it. The hotel can get into it. And I'm not saying they will, but maybe somebody has figured out how to do it in this world of hacking. So, the safe is there for you to put things that you don't want just to be left exposed, but that wouldn't crush you if somebody stole them. Okay? But if there's something really valuable or lots of money, or you want, go down to the desk and request a safety deposit box, and all of them have it. So I think that's very good. Especially if you want a lot of money.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You might not, what happens if you'd win $25,000, off a slot machine? What are you going to do? You can't don't put it in your hotel room safe. That's what I'm saying. Okay. You have to know along the Strip and in Vegas, the drivers are real aggressive. Those taxi cabs, they're drag racers. So, they have a lot of, and there's a lot of traffic there. They have numerous overhead walkways and bridges, pedestrian bridges. Use those. I mean, if you're not on the train, the metro that takes you to key stops, and you got to cross the street, use those. If they're not available, always go to the specific crossings where there are lights and where there are pedestrian lights saying that you can cross. Because if you jaywalking is illegal. I mean, big time illegal. And you'll get a $350 fine. Whoa. Yes. So, use your designated crossings. Do not jaywalk. Don't run across the Strip trying to, miss all of this speeding traffic, just because you think you can make it and you don't want to walk. Don't do that. Because there'll be a plainclothes policeman that'll come up, behind you and say, "I'm sorry to inform you, but..." So, use the crosswalks or the overhead pedestrian bridges when you go across the Strip. Really anywhere in Vegas. Then, gambling tips in terms of safety. If your winnings are big or somewhat, you might not want to get it in cash. You can request a cashier's check. So think about that. Say you win $6,000 and you don't want to carry $6,000 in your purse. So you can say, "Well, could you please put it into a cashier's check?" They'll do that, and probably, I don't know this for sure, but some of your bigger banks, Bank America, JP Morgan, they probably have online services where you can get it just put in your checking account or whatever. I don't know that for sure. But cashier's check, you can get that. Okay. Then if you are winning and your chips are starting to pile up and get tall, cash up. I mean, you take those littler chips and ask for a bigger chip. So don't leave all these big chips in these piles, because there might be somebody that you turn around, all of a sudden your pile is not as high as it was, and everybody's looked away. Now, I'm sure the cameras will catch them, but just be careful, because there might be something going on where somebody does get away, because there's a racket. You don't know, and I'm not, but I'm just trying to be on the safe on the safe side. And of course, if you win big and you've got a lot of cash, get somebody to escort you to your room. Or you go and put that cash in the safety deposit box and then get them to go to your room. Because people are going to know you won big. And if you're just a solo woman traveler, they're going to say, oh, I would like to get to know her. Or maybe I'd like all that money. You know, how people, it's sad when they get on that side of life. But okay, then another tip, and this is really a tip for all solo travelers wherever they travel, stay in contact with home daily in some kind of way, texting or emails, or give them a call, because Vegas is a place where you know, I think that's at least your loved ones feel better that she hasn't left me, or, you know, she's found somebody else, or whatever, you know, or God, you know, something bad happened to her. So I think that's probably just a good habit. Then next, you know, Vegas can get like an inferno. And it's such dry heat. And it can start in late spring, maybe even early spring, depending on the year, and go all the way through late fall. You better have a water bottle on you or in your tote or at all times. Yeah. Have water, because you can get dehydrated so easily out there. And then on top of that, if you're drinking alcohol oh man, by the second day, you're going to feel horrible, and it's really not good for you. So stay hydrated. Keep some water on you, okay? And then the last one, and it's a general tip, but specifically in Vegas, because there's so many tourists in these huge hotels, keep your luggage with you at all times. Unless you give it to the bellman, don't just sit it and go off and get yourself, you know, something to drink and then come back and think it's going to somebody, or even ask somebody to watch it. Be careful in Vegas. It's just, you know, it's just has a little bit more of people are trying to, they're thinking maybe there's money in there. So, I'll end really the show by saying, you know, don't let the awful mass shooting incident by this lone crazed gunman or whoever you think perpetrated this keep you from traveling solo to Vegas. I mean, really, tourist safety is at the top of all of the casinos, all the hotels, and every business owner in Vegas. I mean, like I said, there are so much plain-clothed and uniformed policemen, securities, detectives. They have the top-of-the-line, state-of-the-art technology in terms of security systems. Trust in that. You know, this one incident, it's hard to imagine that it really did occur, but don't let that one stop you from going to Vegas. And I can say when I was there a month ago, I was completely relaxed. I didn't feel any tension or fear anywhere, and I talked to some of the shopkeepers and everything, and the hotel service people, and they said yes, the traffic was down because of the incident. But you also saw #Vegas Strong everywhere. And, I mean, they are really committed to give the traveler a real positive, upbeat experience when they go there. And they're doing a great job with it. They're very, I didn't feel any, like, oh, God, you know, Vegas has changed forever. No, I didn't. Bottom line, they are committed to keeping this place the best adult playground in the world. So if you're looking for fun and a fun and affordable getaway, Viva Las Vegas, and make sure you visit where it all started, Fremont Street.
Listeners, I hope you caught in there that Astrid thinks that you are lucky and you are going to be a big winner. So when you are thinking about your next trip to Las Vegas, whether it be for a conference or anything else, before you pack your bags, we want to make it a little tiny bit less stressful for you. So Astrid has an amazing complimentary packing list that you can get from her website, astridtravel.com. Please go on there, give us your email, and you can download the packing list right away. This podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, any of the finer places that podcasts can be found. We love it when you subscribe and you give us a rating, because that actually helps other solo travelers get this valuable information. Hey, you probably know somebody right now who's thinking about going to Vegas. Wouldn't it be great for them to know all about this? We encourage that. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time on Solo Travel Talk.
Thank you for listening to Solo Travel Talk. Follow Astrid on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. To learn more about Astrid or Solo Travel Advisors, visit our website, astridtravel.com.